Hey guys, it's Ducon Red 1 and welcome to another Minecraft video. We are beginning a new mini-series today. Now, many of you know that if I start a series, typically it becomes something absolutely massive. But I'm trying to do something on this series, and hopefully it'll be a series of new series that will be sort of themed off of mini projects like this that we're going to be doing today. What I want to do is do a Centaur Settlement. I have not seen anything Centaur, and honestly, I don't see there's any really stylized differences or anything that would make Centaur anything more special than anything else. Other than the houses would basically have to be bigger. It'd have to be able to accommodate the room for their larger horse bodies, and they'd have to have large doors, large sort of beds. Do we know, do centaurs lay down to sleep, or do they sleep like normal horses and they just stand on their feet and sort of doze? I don't know this. I don't know a lot about the culture of centaurs. I know what I'm mainly basing this centaur culture off of is the Narnian centaurs, the ones from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian. I don't think we saw any on Dawn Treader. I don't recall. I only watched it once and it was a long time ago. But anyways, I know that I've read up a little bit about the Narnian centaurs. They are stargazers, so they obviously have sort of a mythical side to them. They live a very long life. They eat mainly vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. And they have two stomachs. So they have a man's stomach and they have a horse's stomach. So they need to graze and they need to fill their human stomach full of, whatever the good stuff is. So they eat pastries and all kinds of stuff I don't know why my shadow glitches like that. I've been noticing that. See right there? I don't know why that is. But anyways, so that's what we're going to do. Today we're going to be starting off of possibly making the terrain. Honestly, I'm not quite sure what I want to go with, but I want to try to make just some terrain just to get an idea of what's going to happen here. What I want you guys to do in the comments is leave me some inspiration. Maybe you can find something, some kind of house that kind of looks like what you would think a centaur would live in. Leave that in the comments below, and maybe I can draw from that for inspiration. I got a bit of terrain I'm drawing inspiration from, but I think what they mainly would live is, a mix between a forest and a plains, an open plains environment. They need their fields, they need their grass to feed and such. They would also have fields, but the thing is how centaurs are just, it's just an odd kind of creature, but we'd have to figure this out. We have to figure out how these centaurs would live. So that is going to be the challenge of this small mini series, is coming up with a way of how these centaurs can live. So anyway, let's go ahead and start on some terrain. So we're going to do //CS build laser. Now this is an extremely handy tool that I would suggest to many of you if you are building on the Raven server. I need to figure out if there is a link to that, if that's something you can download for your server. But the custom scripts, CS equals custom scripts, and that is an incredible. This is an incredible tool. Let me make sure that it does. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, good. I didn't want it to go off of my plot. I didn't want to accidentally terraform. So what I am thinking is sort of more of a rolling kind of terrain. Maybe a cliff over on this side, looking down on some water or something. I don't know. Let's just go ahead and just start throwing in some terrain, and then I want to start going back like this, sort of smooth it out. As you can see, we have a cliff here, and then it starts smoothing out on this side. So I just want to keep that in mind. And then there's the cliff that comes back. But yeah, the reason why this custom script terrain tool is so good is because you can it's kind of like sketching. You gotta sketch in order to get sort of that plan. Instead of laying it out in blobs like we're used to doing with World Edit and such, using this tool really helps us create this like really organic terrain. And as we go on, I'll show you some other ways of how to use custom scripts. For those of you that aren't aware of how to use custom scripts, there is a lot of neat stuff you can do with it. So but yeah, stay tuned throughout this series, or this video, and hopefully you'll be able to learn some more. So I don't know if this will be water, or maybe it will be maybe a field down here, maybe just some grasslands. Who knows? There's all kinds of ideas of what we could do with that. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and start rolling the terrain a little bit. We'll bring it back to here. I just want to roll the terrain a little bit. When I say roll the terrain, it's just like a slight roll to it, just to indicate that there's maybe a hill, like a hill crest, maybe along here. Maybe it sort of dips down where this is, and then maybe there's another hill over here. We're going to go ahead and have to figure that out, but I'm just going to go ahead and make the crest of the hill really fast. And it's not going to be anything extreme, we just want to kind of do this, and I hope that doesn't, yes it doesn't, okay good. I don't want to go into my, oh it does go in my plot over there, well that's not good. Alright, so we got to be careful with that. So we'll make our first pass like this, and then we'll make our second pass like this. So we make it less, we don't want it so extreme going down, we just want that little bit of a roll there, just to make the terrain a little interesting, like that. And then from the crest here, we're going to go ahead and follow the line along that cliff. And I think we just, no we didn't, okay good. Because these laser brushes sometimes go all the way through and you'll have a random line that you don't want there. But yeah, so that is that. Alright, so that looks pretty good. That's a pretty good base hill that we can work on. And then maybe like a little, like a dip here where it sort of dips down, not too much. We're just gonna go ahead and make what looks like a cliff right now, but it's gonna be revised later on, because we don't want a cliff back here. That wouldn't be a good thing, I guess. I don't know. So like I'm kind of thinking about giving them, I'm trying to decide, do we want to give them sort of a rustic kind of living environment? Like, do we want them to have thatched roofs and the wooden building stuff, or do we want them to be in a more civilized kind of community? Maybe there's stone houses and stuff like that. We got to figure that out. Obviously centaurs would be a good bit stronger. They have a lot more I guess endurance to be able to carry things. Because obviously they have the bodies of horses, and so they would be able to carry a lot of stuff. So that's something that we need to also decide, is if that is what we want to do. Now, like I said, we're like hardly going off of anything. Like there's really no set plan. There's no really ideas or inspiration to where we can go with this. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to come up with something. But in time, hopefully, we will be able to put this all together. So again, I want you guys to post, maybe suggestions in the links below as to what you think centaurs, what they would live like. That's something that's kind of, I want to know. I want to know some more resources on this matter, so that I can be as true to that as I can. But I still want to stay reasonably original, or not original, but reasonably my own thing, so that I don't get into the business of copying things. That wouldn't be good, now would it? Alright, let's go ahead and just fill that in. So the thing about CS build custom scripts is you want to try to keep the lasers as close together as possible. That'll lead into our next tool, which will be the fill command. And then that will allow us to be able to fill this all in, make it all solid. And I think we'll actually make like a little rock jutting out here. Kind of like on the good terrain, where there was that rock that sort of jutted out from the good side. I'm not sure if not all of you will recognize what I'm talking about, but there was a contest that we did on Raven not long ago, and it utilized this. It was like good versus evil, but it had this little hill on this one side, sort of jutted out like that. And so it might make more sense just to make this as a river down here then, since we're already coming up with that kind of, not a river, but like just a water source. Maybe it's a lake. Just some kind of water indicates that they can go down and grab some water if they need to. So that will be their water source. Alright, so now we're going to head on to our next portion of this, and it's going to be CS. Actually, we're going to grab our golden shovel. So CS build fill, and we're going to do size 7. F is fill, and that is 3, I think we're going to do. And then I forget what I is intervals. Internals. I forget. I don't know the exact meaning of that, but something like that. That's how it usually works. But anyway, you go ahead and bring it all together. This is what really brings the terrain together. Is you want to fill in between all those little cracks and crevices, and this will really help. And then we're going to be using erode after this in order to get the full desired effect to manipulate this terrain the way we need to do. We want to fill all these holes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this really quick off camera, or maybe in a time lapse, we'll see. And you guys will see the finished product. Okay guys, so we have the very, very, very basic terrain right now, and now we gotta do CS build erode. So that will be the way that we're gonna make this look a little bit more organic. So we're gonna do CS build erode, and we're gonna do size 5. F will be the face, and then it'll be 3, and then we're gonna do I1. And so this sort of pushes the terrain back, gives you that little bit more of a organic feel to it versus how it was. Another thing that I need to do actually is fill in the terrain underneath so that it's not so like you don't poke through as much as we do. So let me see if we can do this without causing too much problems. Let me do fill R. Fill R 120, and that's probably going to cause issues. Yes, it did. Didn't it? Undo. Yes, it did. Alright, so it caused all that issue. So what we're going to have to do, or what I'm going to have to do, is go ahead and close off all the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and filled all the terrain in full of stone so that we wouldn't run into that issue again. But now again, we're still just kind of eroding the terrain away. We just want to give it again more of that organic feel. So we got to do a little bit by hand here and there, but overall it's just kind of pretty simple. There's really no method to it. Again, you just kind of want to make your terrain random. You don't want like right angles. Like this is not going to work for us. We want to try to fill that in, maybe push it back a little bit here. Stuff like that is pretty important. Yeah, we're gonna keep adding in stuff like that. And then so this is gonna be like maybe a little crevice here. I might actually dig this down a little bit more as time goes on. Again, I don't really have a really good idea as to what we're going to do here, but there will be, hopefully by the end product, a very interesting and very cool, unique kind of thing going here, and that's kind of what we want to do, right? We want to make something different, and maybe this will start people working on different styles like this, you know, maybe make a house, where minotaurs would live, or I don't know. There's so many different things you guys could do, and that's kind of what I want to encourage you all to do, is come up with some different designs. Don't go too crazy. Don't, I don't know, houses. I don't know. There's a lot of weird things you can make houses for, but or styles for, but just the fantasy creatures that we all know about. Centaurs are pretty sentient. They have houses and such, and that's kind of why I'm going for them. I've always liked centaurs. I've always liked their just their race, and how they what they look like, especially the Narnia centaurs. They are just epic. What was his name? Aslan's general. Oh, he was epic. I loved watching his screen time and seeing the battle scenes and such. Just epic. Just loved it to death. But anyways, yeah, that's that. So what I am going to do now is try to figure out what to do with this. I'm going to go ahead and actually go off screen for that. And I'll come back and hopefully we'll have a pretty set idea as to what we're going to do here. Okay guys, so it might look very stony right now, because that is what we are at right now. There's really no texture, no anything in here, but trust me, I think in my mind right now I got a really interesting plan going on. So this here is sort of the palette that I want to try to go for. As you can see, I have the sort of mushroom colored grass here. The mushroom biome colored grass is sort of that darker green, that sort of hunter's green, I think it's called. Yeah, a little bit of a darker green there. Lighter green, I don't know what kind of green that would be called. Hunter's green, I don't know. But anyway, then I have stone, all kinds of mossy stones, and then I have the dark stones for the shadows and such. And we'll get into that eventually as we are working through this Let's Build. Where to put the shadows and where to put the highlights, etc. Where and how to make some proper terrain, and hopefully it'll be able to be helpful. So this here is going to be a little stream, a creek, I guess, and it's gonna have one place where it comes down right here, and then it's gonna have like little islands in it. So like this will be a sand, like all sand through here, and then this will be sand as well. Then there'll be like little rocks poking up out of the poking up out like that, and then this will all be water in here. And then also another cool thing is that whenever you come to a creek bend or whatever, wherever it bends around, like in this area would typically be a cliff, like over here where the water doesn't really push up against, because the water is kind of pushing up against this area because the water is going around like this. Now if it was going around like this, like if it was like starting here and then it would go around, the water sort of hugs on the outside, because gravity sort of, whenever you're trying to spin around maybe a carousel, like it sort of pushes you to the outside. And that's the same kind of thing. I mean, it still will erode on this side, but what I'm saying is if it was going around that way, around the bend, say if those bend was on this side, it would sort of erode the rock and make it into more or less a cliff like that. I'm sure you guys can find many examples of that just near you where you live, of little streams or creeks. Wherever the bends are is typically, it's very eroded, and rather taken down. I don't know why there's this unusual light here. It's like there's glowstone here, but there isn't. Maybe there's invisible fire here. That was probably it. Okay, well, invisible fire is gone now. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was very basic, but again, this is what we need. I need you guys to send me some inspiration and ideas. I want some more, working together on this, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with something awesome by the end product. So I look forward to it, and I'm going to try to make this as you know, with you guys as I can, so that everything you guys are saying, that maybe I can take your suggestions and ideas, and we'll try to build this together in a sense. So, but yeah, my idea was there was going to be a bridge across here. This, you know, I just thought of this, but my idea is that there would be a bridge across here with a center support right through this rock there, and then the road would come up along here like so. Maybe this would be filled up with water, and then there would be the main settlement would be in this area, maybe something over here, but there'd be trees, maybe a house over here, I don't know. There's a lot of ideas. So but the bridge is the main thing, because when you're looking up the stream, you want something to block the eye from looking outside the plot. Because again, when you're on a plot environment, your job is to try to come up with ways to make you feel as inside the plot as possible at all times. So, but anyways, thank you guys for watching. Give me your ideas. Help me decide on what we want to do. We are building a Centaur Settlement here, and lots to do, lots of cool things to see. So, I will see you on the next one. Until then, bye-bye.